So, picture this. It's the early 1990s. Namibia is a brand new country, fresh out of the box, full of hope and big dreams. Independence in 1990 was the starting line, not the finish line. The real work was just beginning, building a nation from the ground up. And while people were thinking about infrastructure, schools and hospitals, a few forward thinkers had another idea. It was a wild one for the time. They looked at all the scattered pieces of information lying around, government papers, public records, dusty files, and saw something bigger. They saw the blueprint for a modern economy, a way to empower every single Namibian. The vision was simple but powerful. Let's build an information bank. This wasn't about creating a bank for money. It was about creating a bank for data. The idea was that information, when organized and made accessible, could be the most valuable currency for a developing nation. Think about it. How do you give someone a loan if you don't know their history? How does a small business find new customers if they're just guessing who's out there? The goal was to take all this public information and turn it into a tool for progress. It was about leveling the playing field, making sure that economic opportunities weren't just for a select few, but for everyone who was willing to work for them. It was a truly democratic idea, using data to build a stronger, more inclusive society for all. At the heart of this vision was a belief in transparency and empowerment. Before this, Moswad information was often locked away, stuck in filing cabinets, or simply didn't exist in a usable form. This new information bank would change that. It would collect, verify, and organize public data, like the electoral roll, company registrations, and land registers. This meant a business in a small town could check the credit worthiness of a new client. It meant a young entrepreneur could finally get a loan to start their dream business. It was about moving from a system based on who you know to a system based on what you can prove. This was nation building for the information age, happening right there in Southern Africa. The dream was ambitious, especially back in 1993. The internet was still a baby, and the words big data sounded like a sci-fi movie title. But the pioneers behind this project saw the future. They understood that a country's strength isn't just in its natural resources, but in its knowledge. They weren't just collecting names and numbers. They were building a national asset. This information bank was designed to be the engine for economic growth, helping businesses make smarter decisions, helping consumers build credit, and ultimately helping Namibia stand tall on the world stage as a country that understood the power of information. It was a bold bet on a data-driven future. So, how do you build a massive information bank from scratch? You start small and you get your hands dirty. The early days were all about the grind. It was about going through public records, one by one, and putting them into a system. We're talking about the national electoral roll, vehicle, registrations, and even telephone directories. Anything that was public and could help build a picture of the economic landscape was fair game. It was a massive puzzle, and each piece of data was a crucial part of the final image. This wasn't some high-tech automated process. At first, it was painstaking work, driven by the belief that every record added would make the system more valuable for everyone. The project quickly grew from just a concept into a real functioning resource. Soon, it wasn't just about individual consumers. The team started adding information on businesses, big and small. They compiled data on over 11,000 commercial enterprises across the country. This meant that for the first time, there was a centralized place to understand the entire business ecosystem of Namibia. This database became a powerful tool for economic planning, for investment, and for business-to-business commerce. The registry grew to include over 1 million personal records, creating a comprehensive and reliable source of information that could fuel the economy in countless ways. It was like building the country's economic nervous system. Of course, Namibia didn't do this all alone. Smart people know when to ask for help. A crucial step was forming global partnerships. One of the most important was with credit reform in Germany, a giant in the world of credit information with over 140 years of experience. This partnership was a game changer. It brought world-class expertise, technology, and standards to Namibia. It helped ensure that the information bank was not just a local project, but a globally recognized and trusted institution. This collaboration was key to building credibility and proving that Namibia was serious about creating a sophisticated modern data infrastructure. It showed the world that Namibia was open for business and ready to play on the international stage. Getting the government on board was another huge piece of the puzzle. You can have the best idea in the world, but if the government isn't with you, it's an uphill battle. The team worked tirelessly to show officials how this information bank could help achieve national goals. They explained how it would boost economic growth, increase financial inclusion, and improve the efficiency of public services. It took time and a lot of conversations to build that trust, but eventually the government saw the value. They recognized that a well-managed data ecosystem was not a threat to privacy, but a cornerstone of a prosperous and well-run country. This buy-in was essential for the long-term success and sustainability of the project. Now, let's talk about why this all matters so much. The World Economic Forum, the folks who meet in Davos and talk about big important things, has a name for personal data. They call it a new asset class. That sounds fancy, but it just means your data is valuable. Else, it's like gold or oil or property. When used responsibly, it can unlock incredible opportunities. It can get you a better deal on a loan, help you find a job, or give you access to services you couldn't get before. This Namibian information bank was ahead of its time because it treated data as a valuable asset for the consumer, not just for the companies collecting it. But here's the catch. If data is the new gold, then trust is the vault you keep it in. People are rightly skeptical about how their information is used. We've all seen the headlines about data breaches and misuse. You can't just build a system and expect people to hand over their data. You have to earn their trust. This is the biggest challenge of the digital age. The World Economic Forum realized this and laid out a roadmap with 4 key steps to build a trusted data system. It's a blueprint that Namibia, and frankly the whole world, needs to pay attention to. Because without trust, this whole data revolution falls apart. The first step is all about starting conversations. You have to bring everyone to the table: citizens, government leaders, business owners, tech experts. You need to talk openly about the benefits and the risks. What are we trying to achieve? What are the rules? How do we protect people's privacy? Step 2 is about creating common principles. This means agreeing on a shared set of values for how data should be handled. Things like transparency, accountability, and individual control. It's like writing a constitution for your data, making sure everyone is on the same page and playing by the same rules. The final 2 steps are where the real innovation happens. Step 3 is about creating new models for data governance. The old ways of doing things aren't good enough for this new digital world. We need fresh ideas like data trusts or personal data dashboards that give individuals real control over their information. And step 4 is about creating safe spaces to test these new ideas. The World Economic Forum calls them sandboxes. Namibia is the perfect place for this. It could become a living lab, a place where we can pilot new data policies and technologies in a controlled way, learn what works, and then share those lessons with the rest of the world. So, where does Namibia go from here? The foundation has been laid. Decades of hard work have created a unique data asset and a culture that understands its value. Now it's time for the next big leap. With its relatively small population, stable governance, and forward-thinking attitude, Namibia is perfectly positioned to become a global leader in data innovation. It can be that living lab the World Economic Forum talks about. A place where new ideas about data trust, governance, and value creation are not just discussed, but are actively built, tested, and proven in the real world. This is an incredible opportunity for the nation. Imagine a future where every Namibian has a secure digital wallet that they control. A wallet that holds their verified credentials, their education, their work history, their credit score. They could share this data with a click to apply for a job, get a loan, or access government services, all while maintaining complete control and privacy. This isn't science fiction, it's the next logical step. By embracing this role as a living lab, Namibia can attract investment, foster local tech talent, and create solutions that not only benefit its own citizens, but can also be exported to other countries facing similar challenges. It's a chance to move from being a user of technology to a creator of it. But this journey cannot be a solo mission. Building this future requires teamwork on a massive scale. It requires a grand coalition of the willing. We need the government to continue creating a supportive regulatory environment. We need the private sector, from banks to tech startups, to innovate and build new services on top of this trusted data foundation. We need academics and researchers to explore the ethical and social implications. And most importantly, we need the active participation of every Namibian citizen, ensuring that this new data economy is built for them and by them. This is a call to action for everyone with a stake in Namibia's future. The story of Namibia's information bank is a powerful one. It's a story of vision, persistence, and collaboration. It started with a simple idea after independence and has grown into a national asset with the potential to redefine the country's future. Now is the time to write the next chapter. Let's work together to build on this incredible legacy. Let's invite partners from around the world to join us. Let's make Namibia a shining example of how a nation can harness the power of data in a smart, ethical, and inclusive way. The future is not something that just happens to us, it's something we build together. Let's get to work.